Hey YouTube, this is your Bean speaking. Welcome to my first voiceover video. Today I'm going to show you the process behind my 6 fan arts piece. If you don't know, 6 fan arts is a hashtag that has recently taken over Instagram. It challenges artists to draw 6 fictional pop culture characters as chosen by their followers. I got a bunch of suggestions of characters to draw, so thank you guys so much. And instead of hand choosing the characters, I decided it would be more fun to have them chosen randomly, since there were way too many to choose from. So let's see who I got.
So you can see here that I have all the character names written in this wheel here from wheelofnames.com. I'm gonna click it to spin the wheel. We're looking for 6 names. If any of the characters come up twice, I'm just gonna respin and take that name instead. So our first one here is going to be... Who's it gonna be? Looks like we're going with Popeye for number 1. So I'm just gonna write looks like our second character is gonna be Beetlejuice. And spin for our third character here. Looks like Sirius Black. I was hoping I'd get a Harry Potter character. Bellatrix Lestrange, another Harry Potter character. Looks like we got Poison Ivy. That should be a fun one. Peter Pettigrew. Gotta love good old Pete.
Starting off here with the character of Popeye. He was definitely one of the more difficult ones to draw because the original style of the Popeye cartoon is so different than my own style. Messing with the anatomy and pushing the proportions was definitely a lot of fun, but something I'm not really used to. Beetlejuice here was another fun character. He's a very outrageous character, so I wanted to kind of push that. I actually made him a little bit skinnier than the original character, and it made his clothes baggier. I thought it made him look a little more disheveled and kind of crazier. Moving on to our first Harry Potter character, Sirius Black. I wasn't sure what kind of pose I wanted to do for Sirius, but then I found this reference image with his hands in his pockets, and I really liked the kind of subtle confidence but also laid back nature that this kind of put across. With the angle that I was drawing at, it was very difficult to correctly, draw the hand in the pocket. So in the end, I ended up, instead of doing the thumb in and the fingers out, I did the fingers in and the thumb out. Also, characters with mustaches are incredibly hard to draw. Anyone that tells you otherwise is lying to you. Moving on down to our second Harry Potter character, Bellatrix Lestrange. For these characters that were based off of real-life actors, I wanted to kind of keep some aspects of the actor, but also put it in my own style and kind of focus more on the character itself and not so much the actor playing them. So even though Helena Bonham Carter is an absolute queen, I didn't want to necessarily draw her, but actually draw Bellatrix and the way that I see Bellatrix. Poison Ivy was definitely one of my favorite characters to draw. I really liked the pin-up style, and I liked the kind of sultry nature of this character. I wasn't sure what to do with that other arm of hers, and then finally I just threw it up top, and I liked how that looked a lot better.
Her hair was also very difficult to draw. I definitely wanted her to have a lot of hair, but I didn't want her to look too much, I guess, like a Disney princess, if that makes sense. So I wanted her to have volume to the hair, but it also to look more realistic and sexy. And then here I start on Peter Pettigrew, but then get nervous and decide to come back to him much later. Not too much to say during the inking process, other than it actually is my favorite part of the drawing process. I really like the amount of detail that you can get while inking. I like to really put a lot of my focus into this part. I use the dry pen brush from the Procreate brush pack. I like the grittiness of the brush. It's not too precise because I don't like my digital art to look too perfect. I still like it to have a little bit of the essence of what a traditional piece would kind of have. The way I do my coloring digitally is I will block out the entire character or form that I'm coloring in one solid flat color, and I'll do that on a separate layer below the line work, and then I will select that layer. That way I'm only drawing on that block of color, and that way I don't have to worry about staying inside the lines after I've done it that first time. So here I'm just doing each character in one solid color. And then I go back and I do some colors for their background to give it a little more interest. And then you can see here with Poison Ivy, now that I have that original green layer selected, I can draw on top of it without affecting the background at all. And then after I have my flat colors down, I go back and I add some extra shading and things. I added a little bit of a shadow underneath them to give them some depth. And then I go through and on a multiply layer at set maybe around 40 or so, I do a purple shadow on all the characters. I actually do 2 of these, that way I have kind of a lighter shadow and then a darker shadow in areas that are even more recessed. And then after the shading is done, I make another layer. It's a screen layer, and I will go in with white to add highlights, and I actually add rim lights around all these characters. I like to do that because I feel like it adds a lot more to the piece and really makes them pop off the page. And now that I have completely finished all the other characters, I'm finally going back and drawing Peter Pettigrew. I was so nervous to draw this character because I'm really not used to drawing characters that are overweight, because usually when a character is overweight, there's not as much anatomical detail to the character, so I struggle making them still look human without looking like a blob, basically. He's also a very unattractive character, and that's not something that's typically in my wheelhouse, but I am actually very happy with how this character turned out in the end. So as we approach the end of this video, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like this video and subscribe so you can see more of them. Also head over to my Instagram page where you can see these pieces more closely. Thanks guys.